Hey, welcome to Games of Trev, and I'm Trev, and this is
Monique. Today we're going to be talking about Century Golem Edition. And for those that don't know, it's the same game as Century Spice Roads. First off, one of my favorite things about this game is the artwork. I love looking at each of the cards and noticing all the details on it.
Mm-hmm. They are doing a really great job with the cards. I love how the golems almost look like they're helping the humans out in everyday life. It's actually super cool.
It's super cute, and they each have like crystals on them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of fun to see like how the game you're playing is on the cards as well.
Yeah, it's actually super. It makes it way more immersive in the game. Which also is cool is the components. The components are super awesome. The crystals are really cool. They're like these plastic little crystals, and they're come in each color, so it's not like you're just using cubes. It's super awesome. The other cool thing also is the copper and silver pieces are actually metal, which makes it way more fun to use because, using cardboard sometimes can kind of get a little bit boring. So having the metal pieces is cool.
And it's in the base game, which is super nice that you don't have to go buy like a special edition. Like the pieces are just really good in the base game, which is sick.
Yeah, which actually like really upgrades the experience. Like we've also noticed that with other games that we enjoy them a lot more when they do have those upgraded components already in, which is super fun.
So true.
It's so true. To have a quick overview of the game is all about taking your crystals, trading, upgrading, and acquiring new ones to get golem cards to receive points, which honestly is so much fun with the components that we've been talking about because it just makes it way more immersive. But what did you like about the gameplay aspect of the game?
I super like that it is a different strategy every time for me.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what cards are out, which ones are in my hand, and the golem cards that are out, I have to decide how to best manage my crystals. So I like that aspect of it. If I play 2 games in a row, my strategies are going to be 2 completely different things.
No, it's so true because like with the market cards, like you can honestly get different ones. Like I remember like one game we played, I got the card that you get 4 yellow crystals, which is huge. But that card like doesn't come out every time. So like you can't base your strategy about one card. You do have to change it, which is actually super true. Mm-hmm. The other thing that's also true is the golem cards that will come out are gonna be different. So you're looking for different crystals. So maybe one game like, okay, it's basically mostly pink crystals, but the next game it might be mostly green and blue.
Or a mixture of all of them.
Yeah.
You can never tell.
It's true.
Which is awesome.
And I think the point values are actually really good for the respective crystal amounts that they're worth.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
not like there's no card that's like overpowered.
Yeah.
And I think something that also is cool. I don't know. What do you think about the coins aspect of having the extra points?
The coin. I think it's a great idea. It has more incentive of getting those first 2 cards in the row, because otherwise you would just go for the highest point value card. But because the coins are nice, 1, and 2, it can get you more points. Sometimes you will want those first 2, even though the main base card is a lower point value.
Yeah, because like there's no like how would you call it? Like there's no setback to buying a further card in the lineup. Like the merchant cards, you have to pay a crystal for each one over that you're gonna pick up. But when acquiring a golem, there's not that setback.
Yeah.
So there's like no real point to get a lower card.
True.
But because there are other coins you do have to get, which actually is really cool.
Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah. But the other thing we've noticed is if you like this game, you'll probably also like Splendor, which is pretty similar because it's all about that resource management and making sure you have the right things. But the one thing I do like about Century that Splendor doesn't do is that Century has a confined 10 crystals you can have at one point.
Yes.
Where in Splendor you can basically acquire new gems to be able to buy other things. So it's kind of like, I like that you have a constraint. Mm-hmm. What do you think about the constraint? Did you think it was too little, too much?
I think it's well thought out. I think it's a perfect amount because sometimes it limits you, but it also, I think it's enough that you can still do a lot with it.
It like forces you to like buy cards because you have to get rid of crystals. Because sometimes you're like Golem, just like hoarding stuff, but you need to get rid of it sometimes, which is cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about player count for a second. It plays from 2 to 5 players. How did you feel like it went from at a 2-player game that we played?
I think it's pretty consistent throughout 2 to 5. I don't feel like there's a huge difference. I love that at 2 players, it's competitive, but you don't really feel like there's And some games you feel like there's something missing, like maybe we need another player, but in this game it doesn't feel like that. And then at 3 players, 4 players, 5 players, there's more people to compete against. So it's just fun. I don't feel like the game really changes with a player count, which is nice.
True. Something that's also nice about the game is it's not really like mentally exhausting. It's a really chill game. And like, yes, you have to do think about like what's the next thing you want to buy, but you're never worried about if a player's gonna like basically ruin what you have set up. There's no take that action or do this when a player does this, which is kind of nice. And it's nice to have a chill game in our lineup. And that's why I think Century Golem Edition or Century Spice Road is a really good gateway game. For those that don't know what that term means, it just basically means for anyone who's starting to get into the board game hobby or starting to play board games like more consistently. These are games that are easy to learn and usually pretty simple and basic to play.
Totally. This was actually one of my first gateway games, and I absolutely loved it, and it got me into wanting to play more. So I agree with that, actually.
Yeah, it's true. It's actually a game that makes you, where you start to realize, oh, what can board games actually do? And it makes you want to reach out and find new ones, honestly.
Yeah, it gets you super excited about it.
Yeah, and it's actually super great for like kids too, because the pieces are so fun. It keeps them entertained, and the golems are really great. And honestly, it would be really great to play with someone who's 10 or 9 or 8. It'd actually be a really great game for them.
Yeah.
One more thing I wanted to add about the Century game is that it comes in a lineup. The next game in this lineup is Century Golem Edition Eastern Mountains. This game can be played by itself or with any other game in the lineup to make a new game. We're going to be reviewing this game at a later date, so keep your eye out for that.
Thanks you guys for watching. Please leave a comment down below if you have any questions, and hit that subscribe button and like this video. Thanks.
See you guys.